You're listening to KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas, the voice of the people, voted best radio station for music 2 years in a row by the Dallas Observer.
Did you know that KNON podcasts all of its local talk shows? KNON has local talk, each show covering your community in its own unique way. So if you missed one of our great morning talk shows, you can go back and listen to it online. We keep the shows for 2 months so you can hear everything you have been missing out on. Visit KNON.org for more information about the KNON Morning Talk Shows podcast. Also available on iTunes.
Yo, what's up? I'm gonna kick it with the line, y'all know. Yo, Slim, can I kick it like that? Here we go. Well, it's time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think about it or you won't be around. What we need is a little bit of love, sent by one from heaven up above. Chicken from tea is simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying? What? Yep. Here we go.
We'd like to say good morning. This is Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. Each and every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. We have Mr. Dockery Film in it, and we have Clint is producing this morning, and we got a lot of things to talk about. But get your pen and paper out. Get ready for Greg. Get ready for Mr. Greg Barber. He's coming with our Solution and Action Today job line. So get ready so we can help you find some gainful employment and help pay some of those Christmas bills that you run up. They tell me you will pay Christmas until almost next year when Christmas starts all over again. And you say you'll never do it again, and all of a sudden you go right back into the same hole year after year. But I hope everybody had a wonderful, Merry Christmas. I hope all of you who celebrated Christmas did it in a nice, godly way, and I hope your families were together and you had a good time. And it's just a blessing for families to come together, whether you believe in the holiday or not. It's just good to be with your loved ones, those of kindred, and hoping you have a kindred mind, and hoping you'll have a wonderful 2013, a prosperous 2013. And how to have a prosperous 2013? I might give you some pointers, and show you. It can be a great year for you, 2013. But also, we got some things before us. Oh, my God. If anybody out there is on unemployment, have been long-term unemployment and drawing, I'm told that even if they don't settle this thing today, if they don't settle it today, your unemployment insurance is going down the tubes. You will not get your next unemployment check. We're talking about this physical cliff. There are a series of things that's going to happen. Your income tax, definitely. Everybody's income tax is going to go up, and this is going to be murderous to people. That we have a lot of people in America that don't pay taxes because they don't make enough to pay taxes. But if they don't get the thing settled, they're going to deduct from everybody. All right? Your payroll tax rate will increase by 2%, 2 points, with the expiration of our 2-year tax cut designed to boost the economy. Workers making $50,000 annually will take home about $40 less every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, $40 less is coming out of your check. Well, what can $40 buy? That might be somebody's week's drive to work. You know, that's enough gas to get you to work for a week. That will be coming out of your check if you are making $50,000 a year. Now, $50,000 a year, you know, that's not even $1,000 a week. I mean, that's good money for, some people that's working. But do you think the guy that's making $250,000 a year or $1 million a year, you think that will hurt him? And, it's one of these situations where we are about to go over a barrel, those who are on the cliff. But we have too many of us that's not even on the cliff, that's at the bottom of the cliff. And those who are come off the cliff going to come down and fall on top of us that are at the bottom of the cliff. This could be a catastrophe in this nation. I know a lot of people don't want to think about it. They're not thinking about it, and they're trying to put it off. But we just got to deal with this situation. We're going to deal with this. We're going to have to deal with this situation. What are you going to do? I know the Lord will take care of you. I know you're going to have some things. But too many of us have gotten used to nice things, the niceties of life. Some have, quite a few of you have beautiful homes, cars, children in college, nice clothes for the kids in school, nice things, just the niceties of life, like maybe taking a vacation once or twice a year. These niceties. What are we going to do if America goes over the cliff and you go from middle class all the way down to poor, to basically no class? What are you going to do? And those who are long-term unemployed, that's going to dry up. That's going to dry up. We got something facing us. And tell me, who do you blame for this? Do you blame the Republicans that basically run the House, John Boehner? Or do you blame the Democrats, the president? Who do you blame? Do you blame both? Do you blame one or the other? What's going on? We've never had a stalemate like this in the history of America, in Washington. Why do we have a stalemate like this? You can call me at 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. All right, let's go to our phone line and say good morning to Gerald. All righty. Good morning, Gerald. Gerald?
It's good to hear you here on this Saturday morning.
It's good to be here.
Yes, sir. Been working all week and move thing to Saturday morning. I'm trying to get up and be able to catch you on Saturday mornings now.
All righty.
Get back with the program. But let me get right to it. You say, who do we blame? Well, first of all, we look at ourselves and see, are we spending thrifty or are we wasting?
Right.
And if are we trying to save? Do we have anything to save? Then we go to what are our politicians doing to try to keep the lid on us? And we can't be relaxed. We can't be complacent now that we got the president back in office. Let's say that the good Lord blessed us to be able to vote for him and get out and put him back in office to do the agenda that he's doing, a godly thing to do, and that is for the people, and to be able to live life as need to be. But we still got election coming up. Don't forget, a year ago?
Yeah.
2 years ago, we had
2010
still in office. They got a year coming. We got to vote again. We got to get out just as strong. Can't forget now. You know, and can't forget now. Not even at the local level.
That's right.
So we got to keep it going. And one thing I want to say: the president got 4 more years to be in office, and it ain't gonna be long. But guess what? This fiscal cliff thing can make those years hard for the people that need that what the president is proposing. And if we don't get out and support him through the means of the media as we were doing, Facebook and all, it's going to be hard for it. Like the president say, he's not hurting, but he's trying to help the people that are hurting. And the people, these politicians are not looking at it. It ain't the men they hurting. Because a man gonna get out if he want to. He's going to shovel manure if he have to. But we got a lot of single parent women that got kids that's struggling, getting up, can't even really be at home with the kid because they got to get out and work 2 and 3 jobs to pay the bill, to put in daycare and all.
Gerald, you're really saying something now. And let's be honest about it. I got 2 other men in the studio with me, and I figure no matter how hard it gets, these men gonna survive. But what about these women with children? She's got not only her mouth to feed, but several mouths to feed in the home. She's got, if she get up and go to work, yes, she's got to have child care. And she's got to keep a place, a roof over their heads, try to keep some clothes on their back. And if she can't do the adequate job, guess who comes in? Child Protective Services, saying she's being unfit. When a lot of times these women are doing their best. Yeah, there are some lazy women. There's sorry women that don't do. But most of them, I'm talking about the majority of them, is trying to do their very, very, very best to give their children as good a life as they can. But if she's cut off, she loses her job. They tell me, this TANF and all these other things that they have, they're making them harder and harder to get. It's going to be rough out there. It's going to be rough. And these fellas that's sitting up there in the Eiffel Towers there in Washington drawing those huge salaries and laid back, and while people are hurting and starving out here, they're going to be there at the country club playing golf and laughing and talking and shucking and jiving and going on. They're actually playing with people's lives. They're playing politics.
Playing with their basic needs.
Yeah. They're playing with people's lives. They don't seem to care, don't understand, just playing politics. And let's be honest about it. One of the key components in this thing is racism. No president in history has ever had to go through with what this president is having to go through with. Many of the proposals that they voted down and turned down, they're the ones who authored them. But because because he's for it, they're against anything that he's for. Come on, people, let's wake up and smell the coffee in 2014. We got to get rid of a lot of people.
Start with Mitch McConnell.
Yes.
Get John Bonner out of there.
Boehner,
John Bonner really is a good-hearted man, but he's playing politics because of the party he's with.
Well, he wants to be speaker. He wants to be speaker. He loves that big private jet and all. Their miniatures going with the speaker. See, the speaker of the House is the third person in succession to the presidency.
Yeah.
If God forbid, if something happened to the president, vice president, do you know John Boehner becomes president?
That's the way
He's third in succession.
Got in office.
And see, that speaker lives as good as the president. He has a private jet. He has limousines. He's got everything. Yeah, yes, he do. So when he pulls up to the White House, he's not pulling up in a Chevrolet. It ain't apple pie in a Chevrolet when he pulls up. He pulling up with big limousine security and everything else. He loves that cushioned position, and he's willing to take this country over the cliff. Exactly. These fellas are looking out for their own personal gain.
He's not hurting. See, when you don't have to face that. It's like a man that got a company. Mm-hmm. If his employees get laid off, he still got some money, his personal money, because his business is separated from it. And, that's why I respect businessmen that really, honestly, try to keep their employees working and treat them fair, because they don't have to hire people. Mm-hmm. To get, they can cut downsize and save money, which a lot of these corporations do. They can do like our Coca-Cola or Chrysler back in the days. Yeah, we can stay up here and make this $18 an hour, but you'll be out of a job. Or you can cut down $12 an hour, and everybody be able to continue working. When you got that set of mind, the good Lord will bless you for not being greedy and trying to keep people employed to feed their family. And this country that went with these darn politicians, these Republicans, they ain't looking at country and duty and honor for the people. Mm-hmm. They looking at them. Hey, I got the power to make you to make you jump over the cliff, which they doing.
Well,
I'm gonna listen off the radio. Off the phone here, Brother Barnett. I'm glad to be able to catch you this morning. I'm trying to get myself up early Saturday morning to continue to listen.
All right.
I learn a lot from this station. God bless KNON 89.3. I'm trying to spread over the country as I travel and all, because it's a vital, important messages this radio station allow us to hear and allow us to speak our voice, and that y'all putting out. You're giving your time that you ain't getting paid for and all. And I want to say thank you all, as well as y'all doing a great job, and may God continue to bless you all and your families.
All righty. We thank you for your call and comment. All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right. There goes the line, 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. I'm looking here. I can't believe this article here in the Morning News. It says, eyes beyond Texas are on Perry. For what? For what? He was a national or international embarrassment to this state. I know good and well you Republicans have to be ashamed. When this man ran for president, what an embarrassment. What an embarrassment he was. And y'all are here talking about looking at him, other eyes on him. Please, 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 please. I know 20,000 jobs was created in Texas last month, but they were very, very low-paying jobs. I know a lot of people are just glad to have a job, but if you're not making enough money on your job to take care of your needs, take care of your family, you can't pay the rent, you can't keep enough food on the table, something is wrong. And one of the main things is these people are outsourcing. They are not only downsizing in America, but they're sending these jobs overseas. Do you realize corporations in America get tax breaks for exporting jobs out of America? Do y'all realize this? This physical cliff, if it happens, what will you do? What will you do? I want to know. Who are you going to blame? Who are you going to blame with this? What's happening with this? Also, I want you to look at it. We're going to cover also arming teachers with weapons. Arming teachers. Can you believe this? They said if this principal there in Connecticut, had she had a gun, she could have stopped him. Let me tell y'all something, people. Those of you who've never been shot at, never been in combat, you don't know what it's like. You can have the biggest weapon in the world, and there are a lot of people, believe me, there are a lot of soldiers, was gun-ho, ready to go to war until they met combat for real, and they froze. Let me tell you something. Arming teachers is not the way to do it. First of all, if you arm a teacher, who's going to pay that liability bill? What's going to happen when that teacher or that principal, whoever they have armed, when they mistakenly kill one of the children? All of these things are going to happen. Believe me, America is a society that we need to rethink. I don't know what a person needs with an MK-47. I don't know what they need with these assault weapons. You don't hunt with them. What do you need with them? What do you need with these guns? There needs to be a ban. There needs to be a ban. And we're about to go over a physical cliff. It's terrible. It's tough. It's tough right now. But you can call me at 972-647-1893. I'm up against a short break. 972-647-1893. We'll be right back.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
Tune in every Saturday morning for KNON Speak Up Saturdays. Speak Up Saturday starts at 7 a.m. with an expanded church information and forum hosted by Reverend Marion Barnett, a news and politics show for you. Then at 9 a.m., it's the Workers' Beat hosted by Gene Lance, sponsored by the CWA, a show for workers' rights. At 10 a.m., the Dallas Observer presents Jim Schutz, Get Off My Lawn with the other side of the news. Wrapping up Speak Up Saturdays at 11 a.m. is Lambda Weekly with David Tappett, the longest-running LGBTQ talk show in the country. Be sure to tune in every Saturday morning to Speak Up Saturdays right here on KNON 89.3 FM, the voice of the people.
All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. Clint producing. Brother Dockery is filming. And we are on YouTube. You hear him around 8 o'clock to tell you how to get us on YouTube. And you can call us at 972-647-1893. Who do you blame? Who do you blame if we go over the fiscal cliff? Who do you blame? Whose fault is it? Why is it America? The little gains, we made some gains here in America. Remember, 2008, we were about to go into the worst depression in history. We were saved from that. We were spared that. But now we at the point that we might go into it now. The worst depression in history. And people are playing politics. They played with the stock market. The stock market is so shaky because they realize that these people had spent all this time. The Democrats went home for Christmas, and they left before Christmas, just walked out, wasn't going to do anything. Now, what are they going to do? Now they're in Washington. The president had a conference with Pelosi, Boehner, Mitch McConnell, and it was four of them. All the four top leaders of both parties, the two top leaders of both parties, and they discussed it. He said he was sort of optimistic about something happening, but I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm not that optimistic. I'm not sure that anything is going to really happen on this particular thing. I'm not sure. I think there might be so many problems about what's really going on, and I really believe for a while they're going to take us into January without reaching the deal. They're going to take us into January without being really, truly working as they should. What would you offer? Do you think the rich should pay their fair share? Do you think $250,000, a person making that kind of money, say a family of four, have an income of $250,000, do you consider them as being rich? What about a family, say, if they cut a deal, say $400,000 a year, a family of four making $400,000 a year? Are they rich? What about $500,000, half a million a year? Are they considered rich? What about $1 million a year and above? What are we going to do? Or do you believe that a family of four that's making $50,000 a year, will that remain middle class? I don't know. There are some people that are making $20,000 a year, or $15,000 or $10,000 a year. They're going to have to start paying taxes. They're going to have to start paying taxes, and these taxes are going to be levied, and they're going to have to come out of their pockets. They're going to have to do things that they had never thought they would have to do, and things. Now let me get something straight. Everybody pays taxes. Everybody, even today, everybody pays taxes. What am I saying? You can't buy a candy bar without paying taxes on it. Everyone pays some taxes. But I'm talking about income tax. Income tax. Can you afford for your income taxes to be raised? And it's really going to be extremely hard on small businesses. Small businesses are going to catch it. They're going to catch it. They're going to catch it for the simple fact that they are going to have to see, when you're in business, not only do you have to extract tax from the employees, but you got to pay their Social Security. The Social Security taxes are going to go up sky high. Your Social Security taxes are going to go up sky high. And these people are talking about letting our taxes go up sky high, but at the same time, cutting Social Security. They're talking about cutting and raising the age of a person who can draw Social Security. Right now, you can draw at 62. Some don't do it at 62. Some wait till they're 65. They're talking about raising it up, starting it at 67. And some are even talking about not starting Social Security until you're 70 years old. And when you look at the lifespan of African Americans, especially African American males, our lifespan don't even reach 70 years. Believe me, it's a hard task to go forth and not be able to work all your life and not be able to reach, draw your Social Security because you will not reach a certain age. What about that? What about it? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are you learning about this in your religious institutions? What about the churches? Ministers, are you talking about it? Church leaders, are you talking about it? Are we getting the people ready for 2014? All of this has come about because we went to sleep in 2010. We went to the polls in 2008 and got the president elected. Now, in 2010, we just sat at home. We thought, well, he can take care. He's in there. No. That was just the beginning. Now, we're going to have to come together in 2014. And there are certain people that don't need to be in office. There are certain people that that we see that things aren't the way they used to be. I predict in 4 years, if things stay on the same till they're going, Texas is going to change from a red state to a blue state. Harris County, where there's Houston, Dallas County, Travis County, where there's Austin, Bexar County, where there's San Antonio, all went Democratic. All went Democratic. It was these outlying areas that kept Texas a red state, a Republican state. That's quickly changing. That's changing in the state of Texas. And we need to know what to do and how we should do these things. These things are very important because remember that legislature and that governor was going to sign it wanted to make sure that our vote would be suppressed in Texas. Voter suppression came about because we didn't go to the polls in 2010. We need to go to the polls in 14 as strong as we did in 12 and in 8. We need to vote like never before. We need to get out, people, and vote our interests. We need to get everybody votes their interests. Well, Rich, they vote their interests. They know that those little tax raises wouldn't hurt them, but they don't even want to pay that. There are some that don't mind, but there are many that don't want to pay another penny. And let me explain something about a person. Nobody is self-made. Nobody makes themselves. Every person that's wealthy either inherited, if they made it because of everybody else. They made it because they didn't build those streets. They didn't build those buildings. They didn't build all the infrastructure around it. That was paid with taxpayer money. Everybody has something to do. I don't care how wealthy you are. You can't do it by yourself. It takes the masses of people and you being blessed and having good ideas and working hard. Yes, you do that, and you deserve to enjoy whatever you have. But nobody can do it by themselves. Nobody. And let me tell you something, and those of you who are drawing unemployment, if they don't pass the thing by today, you're going to get cut off. It's just that simple. Well, what does an unemployment do? For every dollar that's spent in unemployment, $1.10 comes back into our community, into our nation, into our economy. $1.10. That's going to hurt our economy by cutting people off. When people are hurting, when people don't have the type of economics that's needed for the situation, we seem to have this thing of everybody wants to be on top of the mountain, and they'll vote against their own selves, thinking they'll make it someday. But I guarantee you have a better chance of being struck by lightning before you become a multi-millionaire. You have a much better chance of being hit by lightning. But also, let's look at these schools, and let's look at the killing of children in America. It was atrocious what happened in Connecticut, in Newtown, Connecticut. That was bad. But we have children in our cities, inner cities, that are being killed every day. We had 10 children in Chicago the same day, under 18 years old, was killed on the streets of Chicago that same day that the 20 children died in Newtown, Connecticut. That don't even make the news. That don't make the news. But Newtown is making the news. Why? Nobody cares about the lives of black children. Nobody cares about the lives of those. If these were white children being killed like they're killing in Chicago and many of our major cities, that would have been an outcry years ago. An end would have been put to this. But as long as black children are being killed, it seems like nobody even cares, not even black folk. What's wrong in our society? Why does it have to take some white children to be killed for the president to get on and address it and cry? Why was it that he is from Chicago? He had not put this on a national agenda. All the children being killed, all the murders with weapons, with guns, in his hometown, he had never addressed. But he addressed Newtown. I mean, and that was bad. But why? What is it? Why is it nobody seems to even care? What do we say? A black life is not worth anything? It's not worthy to be addressed? They deserve to be killed? They deserve not to live. They just thugs. Everybody that gets killed in these cities and everything is shot down. A lot of those children are innocent, don't know what's going on, get caught in crossfires and different things like this. And the proliferation of drugs and guns, they don't know where all of these guns are coming from, how these youngsters, they are even preteens, are packing guns, 11 years old, 12 years old, 10 years old, shooting and killing one another. What's going on? Do you realize that what is happening would not be tolerated? Have these been white children doing this? But why do we allow this to happen? They tried to have a march against killing in Chicago. And guess what? A city of over 3 million people, 200 people shows up when they tried to hold a march against killing one another, child murders. We don't care? Are we afraid? What's going on? This is a terrible, terrible problem, and we seem to have some type of this effect of slavery just have gone over. It just have really just stumped our minds. Like today, today's the third day of Kwanzaa. Ujima, collective works and responsibility. We don't work together. We don't work together. We don't think together. These are our young people that are being killed. These are our young people that have all of these problems before them. These are our young people have all the drugs thrown in their community. They don't bring these drugs in. They come from overseas, different countries. They don't have the boats, the planes. They don't have the big trucks to ship them. They're not a part of the United States government that should be regulating these things and keeping these things out. But somehow they end up with as being little street peddlers on the streets and having their own little territories. And then when someone crosses into their territory, they got to take them out because they got to protect their own territory for the little money that they're going to make. They're blowing their lives. If they don't get killed, they're going to prison. They'll never be able to get a job. There will never be anything in life. This is something that they have perpetuated in our country. When Richard Nixon started this war on drugs, it did not. It's been a failure, a total failure, because there's really no war on drugs. There seems to be a war on black folk. That's all it's doing. There's no war on drugs. Don't fool yourself. When are we going to wake up? When are we going to start really thinking about what's really going on? You can call me at 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. When are we going to wake up? When are we going to start thinking? When are we going to realize that so much propaganda that has been fed to us is not for our good, it's for our destruction, and we take it and eat it and just go berserk with this propaganda? There is no war on drugs. It's just a war on people, black people for the most part. It's a war. It's a war. They get years time for a little marijuana or whatever that they're smoking. They get time for that. And not only do they get time, they get pushed out of society. They get pushed down, shoved down, stomped down. Can't find a job. Can't ever raise a family like they should. Can't ever have the things that they should. This is why we have young babies, young children, kids don't know, never met their father. We have all of these things happening that's destroying our society, destroying our place in society. And all of this is happening, and this is not by accident, people. People just do certain things, and certain other things, they get certain reactions out of people. This is happening until the elderly, the seniors, those who did not grow up in a world like this. They grew up, yes, in a racist society, but they did not grow up in a world like this. This particular society, this particular world. You didn't have all of these things to distract you. You got a chance to go to school. You got a chance to learn a trade. You got a chance to be somebody. You got a chance to develop yourself. And now, all of a sudden, you want to sit back and lay back and I'm going to enjoy my retirement. You need to get off your lazy ducks and get up, because God has blessed you with years and you still have your life, health, and strength. It's time for you seniors, black seniors, our wealthiest, our most educated, our most intelligent group of people that we have. We got to depend on you. Not anybody else. I keep preaching this. Y'all better listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. You can bail us out. We're up against a short break, and we'll take your calls when we come back in just one moment. We'll be right back.
If you are the low-income parent or guardian of children in need of childcare, there are programs available in the area that may be just right for you and your kids. Texas Workforce Commission offers solutions for families in need of assistance. Find them on the web at twc.state.tx.us. Click on Programs and Services in the blue bar at the bottom of the page to find out if you are eligible. 211 Texas, a program of the Texas Health and Human Services Commission, also offers child care provider referrals for families seeking subsidized child care. Contact them at 211texas.org or dial 211. If dialing 211 directly doesn't work on your telephone, you can call 877-541-7905.
Want to hear some great Texas blues? KNON has the CD for you. KNON's Texas Blues Radio Volume 5, our latest blues compilation CD to benefit community radio, sponsored by Forever Young Records. This CD features 15 tracks and 60 minutes of great original Dallas-Fort Worth blues from Tutu Jones, Blues Boy Bo, Buddy Whittington, Andrea Dawson, Kirkland James, Sonny Colley, Johnny Red and the Roosters, the Chris Watson Band, the Two Tones, the Rough Cut Blues Band, Jeff Stone and Charlie Love, Dave Millsap, Sirloin and the Ash Kicking Machine, Michael J. and the Paul Bird Band, and JJ and the Detonators. We're only selling 1,000 copies and it will never be reissued. Get your copy now at Forever Young Records in Grand Prairie, Recordtown in Fort Worth, and in Dallas at Bill's Records and Rewind Music. The CD is available as an MP3 download at KNON.org. All proceeds benefit community radio, KNON. For more info on Texas Blues Radio Volume 5, visit us at KNON.org. Get your copy now and hear some real Texas blues. Your ears will thank you for it.
Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. All right, on this day in 1905, the father of modern-day jazz, Earl Father Hines, was born. 1905 on this day. All right, in 1977, we had the Karen Farmer was selected and became the first African-American in the Daughters of the American Revolution. And today is the third day of Kwanzaa, Ujima, collective works and responsibility. So much. We got some more history notes and everything we're going to hit you with. But we're going to go to our phone lines. You can call us at 972-647-18 89.3. All right, let's go to line 1 and say good morning to Joe. All righty?
Hey, Reverend Barnett, how you doing?
Fine, Joe. You doing all right?
Oh, outstanding. Always good to hear you come on fired up from start to finish. I'm glad that they gave you more time because it was definitely needed.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you bring a lot to the community. Inform those that don't even want to hear it. You try to help the heads anyway. Touching on what you were talking about, the guns in the schools, the killings and what have you, let's bring it home. Let's come right here to Dallas. You know, in DISD, and let's all pray for that crazy superintendent we got. Look at that, we exchanged one nut for another. You know, the last time I talked to you about the superintendent, I was taking I would help drive that last one out of town. If somebody load the U-Haul, I'll do it for this one here. He has lost his mind.
Yeah.
But getting back to the killings and what have you, the schools here in DISD, do you know that over half of the metal detectors that they have up at those front doors are not even working?
They're not even on.
Not even connected. And to show you how silly it gets, the parent, what have you, don't even want them on. They say that it looks too criminal. They don't want them on. They don't even want them. Parents don't even want them in the schools. They said make the schools look too bad. You got to address the practicality of the thing. They are needed. They are needed. They are needed. They are needed. Do you know that the prisons in the nation are safer than our schools? Most of the assaults that you hear way more at schools, teachers being assaulted, children being assaulted, children being molested, children being bullied. There are kids that go to school and they say all day they refuse to use the bathroom because they're afraid. Girls molesting girls, boys molesting boys. So they're afraid to go to the bathroom. And a lot of the teachers are not trained how to handle it. If the kids go and report it, many times they further hurt the child by telling them if you weren't such a little wimp, they wouldn't pick on you. All this kind of nonsense. The prisons are safer than our schools. If you do the research, you'll see that the safest place to be now, in many cases, is in some outfit outside of the schools. They say the dangerous job to work in America today, they say, is in a 7-Eleven from 11 to 7. It is totally ridiculous. My sister told me in L.A. there's a film home out there. They have a sign on it. It says, "Teenagers, we can do without your business." They get so many corpses in there. It's been killed by gang wars and all kind of drugs and other stuff. So they got the sign reads, "Teenagers, we can do without your business." They get so many.
Joe, did you ever think you'd see a day like this?
No, I didn't. And my livelihood was spent working in prison. That's how I made my living. I never did. I never thought that I would see a time where a parent was afraid of 9-year-old children, 7, 8-year-old, saying things they got to run to Dr. Phil. I'm afraid to whip my child I don't want to hurt his feeling because he can feel less than whole, or he say he'll put some poison in my coffee. This is nonsense. You are made to be responsible for your dog. I had to deal with a lady about her son stealing in the community. And a so-called community leader came and told me, he said, well, you might not be aware that his mother works at night. She works at the jail downtown. I said, it doesn't matter. Her son can't go around burglarizing people's house. They won't let your dog do that. In DeSoto, if you got a bad dog, or especially if you got a pit bull, you have to pay a little bit more than you do for a regular non-pit bull. So you're responsible for your child, whether you at work or not. Somebody, I got a partner that he has a statement that he quotes all the time. He says, you're going to mind somebody in this world. You'll either mind the police, or maybe you might mind the prison warden, or you might mind the undertaker, the funeral director. But you're going to mind somebody.
Well, what we have happening is I don't know if did this come from Dr. Spock, or where did we learn this inability to really chastise our children, to correct our children, to teach them discipline? I don't know. That never was a part of our culture for the most part.
Well, we Mr. Barnett, we started acting like the other, and we got where we want to explain everything away. We don't want to step up to the plate. Like the Sandusky, We allowed the Sandusky's to materialize in the world. The victim number one says Sandusky taught him to ride his first bicycle. Bought his bicycle, taught him to ride it. Sandusky taught him to shoot his first BB gun. Where were the mother, the brother, the cousin, the sister,
the uncles, the grandfather? Yes.
See, we allow this stuff to have there. Oh, what are we? Oh, was that bad? Yeah, it was bad because we allowed even Sandusky's wife.
For those who don't know, he's talking about the assistant coach at Penn State University, Jerry Sandusky. All right, go right ahead.
Yes, but we allow the Sandusky's to happen. And these preachers, Reverend Barnett, you're a preacher, so let me sign off by saying this before I close. These preachers that get up, and I call them little pigfoot preachers, pigfoot head preachers, that get up and preach those sermons. I call them ain't God good sermons. I woke up this morning, I had fresh air to breathe. Ain't God good. I woke up this morning, I had fresh water to drink. I turned on the tap. That's not about nothing. I was saying this another time on the radio station. A lady called, she said, Mister, she say, now some people need that. And I say, you're right. I stand to be corrected. Some people do need that, but I don't think the masses need that. I think most of us know that God is good all the time. But what about talking about somebody that preach something that will help them get through today, tomorrow, get by Monday on that Tuesday holiday, get by Wednesday when on that job, having trouble. These little preachers, a lot of them up there jumping up and down on raw emotion, and they have a captive audience there. In these churches on Sunday, you're basically going to find women and a few children there. But still, women are raising, single mothers are raising, and grandmothers are raising most of these children today. So do what you can, when you can, with what you got. Have a good day. All
righty. We thank you for your call and comment. That clears the line, 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. What do you think about that? The rearing of our children, where did we lose the desire to discipline? Where did it go? Why is it we have no desire to discipline the children? What is it all about? Why is it we don't want to hurt our children's feelings when we used to get our behinds hurt? What is it? What's going on? I remember having a mother, I told her son was stealing. She asked, what was he stealing? And I told her, she said, are those big things? I said, well, some of them are, but most of them aren't. Oh, well, if he's just stealing little things, there ain't nothing wrong with that. This is a mother teaching the child to steal. I mean, and if you ask her, she thinks she's really responsible. Now, I understand. I don't want to jump on mothers because they're the ones who stayed. They got left holding the baby or holding the bag, whatever you want to call it. But it's a sad situation when people, especially when you're being oppressed, loses their discipline. It makes that oppression just that much harder. If you're oppressed, if you're down, if you're behind in a race, you have to run harder. You have to be more disciplined than the person that's out front. It's just that simple. I know you don't want to hear it. I know it's hard, but that's just the way it is. Give me a call, 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Let's say good morning to Zane. All right. Is that Renee? All right. Good morning, Renee.
Good morning to you.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. I just wanted to comment. One of the reasons this way I feel is a society. Society says it's illegal for you to discipline your children. You go to school with a little scar, they want to call the police and authorities on you. So people are backing off of discipline their children because it's the law now.
Renee, do you really think that's a reason or just a flimsy excuse not to discipline your child?
Well, I discipline my children.
Yeah, but you can discipline a child without scarring them up, scratching them up, putting bumps and, big whips on them. There are ways to discipline your child without that. But I think there are some parents that uses that as an excuse not to discipline their children. And some people just seemingly don't care. They're too busy thinking about their personal lives, thinking about the man that they lost and all of this, all this carrying on, lusting after others, and really just don't really have time for their children. Now, that's my take on it. I think, and I see it every day. They're doing, they got too many other things on their mind rather than raising their children.
Well, that's true too. And a lot of times you say like the single mothers are raising their children where they have to have a job in there in order to raise them. So that means the kids are going to have to be left with someone else.
Yes,
so generations have changed where mothers was at home, fathers were out working, mothers could discipline the children.
All right, Renee will answer me this.
Change in society, period.
What brought about that change?
Well, I think the breakdown of the family.
Your radio on, I can hear it in the background. I hear your radio. But you said the breakdown of the family. How did this happen? What changed that caused the family to break down?
The men out of the house. No fathers.
Okay, why aren't men in the house?
Say that again?
Why do you think men aren't in the house?
Oh, there's a lot of reasons for that.
Do you have any specific reasons? We're trying to find some answers now.
I know. I need some answers myself. But, divorce. You know?
Over 70% of our children are born out of wedlock, so there aren't any divorces hardly to speak of.
Okay. Well, your statistics is telling it all. You know, the children born out of wedlock, no father in the home.
Where did they go wrong? Because why? How did we fall to that?
That's a good question.
Is it
I don't have the answers.
Is it a change? Did men change? Is his nature of the man has changed? Is he just not the same as he used to be? Or you
can't just blame the men.
Is it the mores of the women change?
Men are supposed to be the head of the household, but we just can't blame the men because there's reason why the men aren't in the house anymore. There's women. Women are also responsible for having children out of wedlock. You know, it's just a combination of things. There's no one set answer. Like you said, you know, is that just a symptom or is that the reason? There's a lot of reasons. The number one reason is the evil is taking over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the evil forces are coming in and breaking down the family. God's people are being attacked, and if you're not strong enough and put your forces against the evil through Jesus Christ, what else can I say?
Have our religious institutions failed?
What can I say?
Have they? Do you believe they failed? Because it's no way around it. When you go back and trace the problems, many of the problems in our society, there has been a moral breakdown. The mores aren't the same anymore. Who really puts forth the discipline of mores in a society usually is your religious institutions. Do they have the religious institutions failed?
Yes, some of them have. Not all of them. I would say some of them. Not enough Christians are standing up for the beliefs that we say we believe in. You know, we'll say, well, let the other person take care of it. Not my problem.
But it's everybody's problem because it's going to come back to haunt everybody.
Right. But if people don't stand up for what we believe as Christians, there's a lot of Christians in this country. If we all stood together, we would get something done.
Well, now, if the Christian preacher stood up and preached true mores as they are explained in the Bible, would he have a congregation in today's time? Would he have anyone to preach to?
Yes.
You think he would?
Yes, I believe we would. Because we do have preachers that stand up and preach
true mores. You have preachers that preach moral values in this day and time.
Yes, you're a pastor, don't you, preacher?
Yeah, but I'm just one. I preach it right here on radio to thousands.
Right.
But I tell you what, you're one of the few women.
You're not by yourself.
No,
you're not the only one now.
All right, wait a minute. But you are one of the few women that will call in and even discuss this with me. I mention anything about my race, I guarantee you, I get no calls from women. Hello?
Well, this is the first time I'm listening to you.
Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna see if you're gonna call. I'm gonna see if you're gonna call me. What's her name, Clint? Yeah, keep that down right there. Renee's name down. I guarantee you, Renee, I won't hear from you in 2013.
No, you're gonna hear from me again because now I know where you are and what channel you're on. I just go through
every
the radio.
Saturday morning from 7 to 9. Okay.
I haven't been in Texas long, but I found the station, and so I felt I was led to call you.
You love the station?
Yes, I do, and I like what you're saying.
All right.
That's why I called.
Okay. Thank you, Renee. I'm up against a short break, but I thank you.
You're quite welcome.
All right.
Bye.
All right. The number to call is 972-647-1893. You can reach us. You can talk to us. If you got the courage, call me. If you got the courage, 972-647-1893.
You're listening to KNON 89.3 FM, the voice of the people in Dallas and Fort Worth, voted best radio station by the Dallas Observer.
This special day got me to thinking about America's spirit of giving. And I don't mean this overdone business of Christmas gifts. I mean our true spirit of giving, giving of ourselves. Yes, we are a country of rugged individualists. Yet there's also a deep, community-minded streak in each of us. We're a people who believe in the notion that we're all in this together, that we can make our individual lives better by contributing to the common good. The establishment media pays little attention to grassroots generosity, focusing instead on the occasional showy donation by what it calls philanthropists. Big tycoons who give a little piece of their billions to some university or museum in exchange for getting a building named after them. But in my mind, the real philanthropists are the millions of you ordinary folks who have precious little money to give, but consistently give of yourselves and do it without demanding that your name be engraved on a granite wall. My own daddy, rest his soul, was a fine example of this. With half a dozen other guys in Denison, Texas, he started the Little League Baseball program, volunteering to build the park, sponsor and coach the teams, run the squawking PA system, etc., etc. Even after I graduated from Little League, Daddy stayed working at it because his involvement was not merely for his kids, but for all. He felt the same way about being taxed to build a public library in town. I don't recall him ever going in that building, much less checking out a book, but he wanted it to be there for the community, and he was happy to pay his part. Not that he was a do-good liberal, for God's sake. Indeed, he called himself a conservative. This is Jim Hightower saying, my daddy didn't even know he had a political philosophy, but he did, and it's the best I've ever heard. He would often say to me, everybody does better when everybody does better. If only our national leaders in Washington and on Wall Street would begin practicing this true American philosophy.
Yo, what's up? I'm gonna kick it with the line, y'all know. Yo, Slim, can I kick it like that? Here we go. Well, it's time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think about it or you won't be around. What we need is a little bit of love, sent by one from heaven up above. Chicken for tea is simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying? What? Yep. Time to make the change. Here we go. We are the people who can do it. Oh yeah. Time to make the change. We are the people who can do it. Yo, Mob, kick it for me one time.
Okay, Reverend Barnett, this is William Docker, your favorite cameraman. All right, I'm going to let you all know how you can find us on YouTube. Oh, won't working? Backup plan 2, here we go. William Dockery, Two Hats Publishing. Am I coming through this now? All right, so much for new technology, it didn't work. All right, Reverend. Let's see if I can get this right now that I'm stammering well. We're on Facebook. Dial facebook.com/Two Hats Publishing without any spaces. You can also do the same thing at youtube.com/2 Two Hats Publishing, or you can do the same thing in search boxes of both websites, and you can find us, and you'll find links to all the shows. Starting since September, Clint? When did we start doing these? October? Yeah, that's right. October 6th was the first time we started broadcasting videos of all our talk shows here. So I'm going to let you have the show. Now that I've stole part of it.
William, how can they contact you?
You can contact the website. Our email is Two Hats Publishing, but that has underscores instead of spaces between the words, at yahoo.com.
Is that 214?
Yeah, that's 214-0397.
Absolutely. All right. And you can be reached by that number.
Absolutely. Anytime I plug into the internet, you can reach me.
All righty. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. William Dockery, our photographer, our cameraman. He's here each and every show, filming all of our shows. Then we are seen on YouTube. All righty. There's so much going on, so much to be thankful for. This is the last show of 2012, and we thank you for listening to us and supporting us all throughout all 2012, and hope you'll listen and support during 2013. And you can reach us at 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. Let's go to our phone line and say good morning to Mary on line 1. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine. You doing all right this morning?
Yes, I'm doing fine. Getting ready to get out. I'm going to clean my church this morning.
Is that right?
Upon getting ready, I was listening to your questions and comments on what is going wrong in our society today.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think, in my opinion now, it's not just on the man or the mother. First of all, we know that based upon back in slavery days, men weren't allowed to be men. But guess what? We have come a long way from there. Men need to stand up and be men. Mm-hmm. But mothers, that is no excuse for you not to be a woman of who you are, a child of the King. First of all, we wouldn't have so many children without fathers if mothers wasn't laying down having baby after baby for a welfare check. Society, to me, adds to that because
did you say a welfare
helped
check?
them out at one time. I beg your pardon?
Did you say a welfare check?
Well, whatever they have. I don't know what they have now.
You really
I
think
didn't
they're
raise
after
mine on welfare or AFDC, but in the olden days, they were called welfare checks. Okay?
They're actually having more children just to draw welfare.
Of course a lot of them did that. Of course a lot of them. And it's not just to look at whose fault it is. You got to first look at yourself. Are you doing anything to change that problem, or are you adding more to it? That's the way I think. Every parent that has a child has a responsibility to make that child's life, to teach that child more than where I started from or that person started from. You know what may have contributed to causing you to be where you are. Do you want to bring one in here and leave it up for the same thing to happen all over again? I don't think so. Mm-hmm. But the thing of it is, I do know that the ways that's out there in society, the things that are going on, it draws the children out there. We let them look at TV all the time. They see how people get over, but you know what? They think they're smarter. That's not going to happen to me, but it does.
Wow.
So where does it fall back to? Parent, don't let your child sit there 10 hours a day or 8 hours a day looking at all those horrible things on television. Also, keep them busy. It's not up to them to learn about the Bible. That's our job to teach them how to live right, what is right. If they grow up and go astray a little bit sometimes, I believe that does happen. I had 3 boys and basically raised 3 boys on my own. Didn't have them all out of wedlock, but I had one. But guess what? I had enough sense and a mother that said, look, you made this one mistake. You don't do this again. I didn't.
Well, you know.
But after years of marriage,
if a woman, anybody can make a mistake.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, what about these women that's making 4, 5, 6? Yeah. What about that? Huh?
That's not mistakes. That's just, I don't care, and nobody evidently is telling you any different. This is where I think our seniors, our churches, our community organizations can come in to help educate our young women. Think more about who you are and what you are. Then maybe you can do a little bit better by your child.
Do you teach this to the younger women in your church?
Oh, of course I do.
Are you the pastor of the church?
Most certainly. The pastor of my church is Reverend Reginald Jefferson.
Okay. All right. Is that Jefferson used to be on Ewing? Is that?
I don't know if he was on Ewing or not.
No,
I've only been a member of his church for a couple of years.
No, that's
prior to that. I was with Reverend Orr, who was at Son of Man.
Okay.
So.
But the pastor teaches this?
The pastor is yes, and he's greatly into education. The mothers in our church, we periodically have meetings with the young women, teenagers, and what have you. We try to do things to inform them about who you are, taking pride in yourself. We work with other organizations, different churches, to do the same sort of thing. But you know what? Until it's done on a national level, we're not moving forward. Because, honest to God, what we're doing, we're thinking about me, myself, and I. Okay. When you show real love for yourself, your race, your people, or whoever, you got to look beyond yourself.
Okay.
You only going to move forward if your family moves forward.
All right. All right. Thank you, Mary. Thank you for your call and comment.
All right.
That goes the line. 972-647-1893. We're talking about several things this morning. We're still talking about the tragedy, but the tragedy that happens on our streets every day with the killing of our children. Anybody think about the lives of black children? We're thinking about the mores in our society today. What has happened to us? Also, we're talking about that physical cliff. Are we about to go over? What will you do? Do you consider yourself on top of the cliff? Are you already at the bottom? Or how will we handle this situation? All right, let's go to line 4 and say good morning to Ike. All right. Good morning, Ike.
Good morning, Reverend Barnett.
Fine. How are you this morning?
Doing great. I just want to say this, brother. The lady who just got off the air, I mean, she was right on it. I appreciate that kind of wisdom coming from a church-going woman, a Christian woman. But she was on it, talking about the welfare program and how it has crippled our young women into, I'm not saying all women do that. Welfare is designed to help those who need it, not to become a lifestyle for those who have learned how to tap into it.
But you know what, Ike? What is it about this? See, when we get trapped into this situation, it seems as if they get comfortable, and after a while, I don't know if they could ever hold a job again. I've seen it happen too many times.
Well, the thing is, Barnett, a lot of women, and that's what makes a man in a house. His stance weakens when these women can say, "Well, I don't need a man for nothing but sex," because they got a check coming in. And that check don't ever get laid off. It don't ever take a day off. So then you have those kind of problems. Then
remember, we talking about that physical cliff. Oh yeah, that check.
Well, they don't understand it. See, it has never hit them until now. They have never had that taken away from them.
Well, it could go.
Okay. Yeah, if it goes, it's going to be a disaster. Because look at a lot of men who are divorced or had kids and are paying child support. Now, me, myself, personally, my opinion, a man paying child support, $500 or $600 a month child support, and he can't even carry that kid as a dependent on his income tax. I think there's a problem there, because you got a lot of guys that's laying down on that. They're paying a bunch of money out, and they're not getting any, I know it's their kid, don't get me wrong, but then the ladies mama or somebody else wind up carrying the kid on their taxes. But the woman don't work, so she's not carrying the kid. I think that's the one thing that really hurt a lot of men. And to move on, you was talking about the war on drugs. And it is a war on black people.
No, it's not a war on drugs. Yeah.
It's a war on black people because the people who are getting rich in my opinion, the people who are getting rich are not the drug dealers, not the little street peddlers.
No.
It's your lawyers and your attorneys and stuff that defends these people when they get busted.
And the people who have the drugs shipped in here, those are the real pushers.
Well, you look at a person you look at a drug dealer paying a lawyer $23,000 to stay out on the street. Nobody questions how is this guy paying his lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
So then it wind up, we the one that has to wind up with the crack babies or our girls getting turned out, our young men in the penitentiary behind drugs. We suffer the most behind crack, cocaine, and other drugs.
Mm-hmm.
When they had this epidemic of cheese, the Hispanic raised up and they wanted to stop to it. You don't hear about cheese anymore.
Mm-hmm.
When they had this epidemic of this black tar heroin up in Plano, they raised up, they snuffed it out. But in our neighborhood, no one cares about the crack houses and stuff like that. We can take bulldozers and push down a couple of old raggedy houses, but that's not solving the problem.
No, you're right.
It's not solving any problem at all. But until we as a people raise up, until we start complaining, like the guy earlier said about the woman's kid that was breaking in houses.
Mm-hmm.
When we put a stop to that kind of stuff in our own community, when we police our own community, when we hold our own leaders accountable, even the preachers. Too many preachers got too many women and too many cars and too many things that has nothing to do with God. You know, these preachers got
businesses in our community, businesses that we own and control. That would be great until we get control of our community, until we get things done for ourselves. Nobody's going to do anything else for us. I keep telling people that.
We demand the politicians that we elect, hold them accountable. We voting too many people in office that's doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. I don't understand the voting patterns in Dallas for the simple fact. Dallas votes on popularity. North Dallas can pick anybody. The wealthy can pick anybody they want to pick. This is going to be our boy, this is going to be our girl. We're going to go with them, and they will put them out there. They'll get them elected. They will finance them. They will get them elected. Black people going to vote for these people because they think these people are really the ones who got it going on. Don't realize this is nothing but a trick from the man. That's all. And we don't seem to recognize it. And all they have to do is sit back and look, oh, wait, what has this politician done? They've been in office all these years. Whatever have they produced for the masses of people in our community? What have they done? I wonder, do our people ever really just ask that? What have these people really produced? What are they doing? What are they there for? We elected them. We didn't vote for whites because we felt like whites wasn't going to represent us. Well, you got blacks now, and you're still underrepresented. And the average black in certain parts of Dallas, like they take Oak Cliff, right? Let's take where you live. Almost every layer of politics that represents you, all the way from your precinct chair to your city council person, to your county commissioner, to your state representative, to your judges that represent you. The only person you have representing you anywhere in government that's white is your U.S. senator, all the way to your president. Everybody that represents you where you live is black, isn't it? Think about it.
I mean, I agree.
Everybody. But now, is your neighborhood better off today than it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago, or is it worse?
No, we pay the same price that we paying the city of Dallas. We paying the same amount of money that we was paying 10 years ago for 2-day trash pickup, for 1-day trash pickup.
Huh? That just let you know. I tell you what, I'm up against a short break, and y'all get your pen and paper out and get ready. Mr. Greg Barber will be coming right after this break with the Solution in Action Today job line, help finding you gainful employment. So get your pen and paper out. Mr. Greg Barber will be the first voice you hear after we come back from break. We'll be right back.
If it's time to get rid of your old gas guzzler, the KNON Vehicle Donation Program can help. There's still a market for those old vehicles, and if you donate it, you're helping to support quality programming here on KNON. Just call 877-KNON-AUTO or go online to KNON.org. We'll take care of everything from pickup to tax paperwork. That's 877-KNON-AUTO or online at KNON.org.
Tune in every Saturday morning for KNON Speak Up Saturdays. Speak Up Saturday starts at 7 a.m. with an expanded church information and forum hosted by Reverend Marion Barnett, a news and politics show for you. Then at 9 a.m., it's the Workers' Beat hosted by Gene Lance, sponsored by the CWA, a show for workers' rights. At 10 a.m., the Dallas Observer presents Jim Schutz, Get Off My Lawn with the other side of the news. Wrapping up Speak Up Saturdays at 11 a.m. is Lambda Weekly with David Taffet, the longest-running LGBTQ talk show in the country. Be sure to tune in every Saturday morning to Speak Up Saturdays right here on KNON 89.3 FM, the voice of the people.
Right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. And we have Clint producing and Mr. William Dockery filming. And so you can pick us up on YouTube. He's giving you the way to pick us up there on YouTube and watch the show every time we come on air. You can watch us every day. All righty. And you can call me at 972-647-1893 if you'd like to join this conversation. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. All right, let's go to our job line and say good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to our own job line man that's been doing a great job with this thing for a number of years. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, Reverend Barnett.
Fine. How are you this morning?
Doing fine, doing fine.
Great, great. Are there any jobs out there?
There are awesome jobs out here. Despite the threat of going over the physical cliff, there are awesome folks still hiring.
Still hanging on, huh?
Still hanging on. This morning on our SAT job line, the Solutions and Actions Today job line brought to you every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. during Church Information and Open Forum here on KNON 89.3, the voice of the people. This morning on the job line, we have Traxxas is looking for a warehouse associate. They're asking you to apply online at www.traxxas.com. Once again, that web address is www.traxxas.com. Honeywell is looking for a warehouse worker. They're asking you to apply online at www.honeywell.com. Once again, that web address is www.honeywell.com. Transportation Security Authority is looking for transportation security officers. The number for inquiry is 877-872-7990. Once again, that number for inquiry is 877-872-7990. Pitney Bowes is looking for customer service representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.pb.com/careers with an S. Once again, that web address is www.pb.com/careers with an S. Liberty National Insurance is looking for customer service representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.lnlcareers.com. Once again, that web address is www.lnlcareers.com. Uline is looking for warehouse associates. They're asking you to apply online at www.uline.com. Once again, that web address is www.uline.com. Ernst & Young is looking for customer service representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.ey.com/US/EN/careers with an S. Once again, that's Ernst & Young is looking for customer service representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.ey.com/US/EN/careers with an S. If you are a child-loving patient and energetic individual and would like to work in a daycare setting, the number for inquiry is 972-290-4995. Once again, if you are a child-loving patient and energetic individual and would like to work in a daycare setting, the number for inquiry is 972-290-4995. 290-4995. If you are a person affected by addiction and need assistance with your recovery efforts, or an ex-offender trying to make their transition back into mainstream society and need assistance with job searches, the number for inquiry is 214-634-2722. Once again, if you are a person affected by addiction and need assistance with your recovery efforts, or an ex-offender trying to make their transition back into mainstream society and need assistance with job searches, the number for inquiry is 214-634-2722. Today is a good day if you're looking for a job to find one. Let me repeat that. Today is a good day if you're looking for a job to find one. Proverbs 29:17 tells us, correct thy son, and he shall give thee rest. Yea, shall he give delight unto the soul. However, Proverbs 29:21 says, he that delicately bringeth up his servant from a child shall have him become his son at length. What that tells us, if you raise your kids and discipline them the way you're supposed to, he will give you rest and peace of mind throughout the years. However, if you soft pedal him and be his friend while in bringing him up, he'll be your headache for life. We're looking for weapons of mass destruction in all the wrong places. Why do I say that? One of the greatest weapons of mass destruction is to unleash an unrestrained, uneducated, untrained, and ungrounded child on the world. And we are reaping the benefits of these weapons of mass destruction. That's what we see on our streets. That's what we see reported on the news every day. Folks are unleashing weapons of mass destruction on the world. And you've heard everything but this. Had it been, I ask you, had the young man been African American or any other race, would he have been reported as a terrorist?
Oh, definitely. And look, he wouldn't be called young man.
Exactly.
He would be that thug, that criminal. They wouldn't be talking about mental illness. They would just tell you like it is. He was evil.
Well,
the whole layout, the whole works, everything would be differently had that been an African American child.
My heart goes out
man or whatever he is
to those families, but my heart also goes out to those families in Chicago and every other urban center where the streets have been hot and murders have been rampant and on the rise. They've never reported anything about that.
No.
Chicago had I don't know how many murders this past year.
Well,
of Chicago.
Well, that day you had 10 people killed in Chicago. That day, that very same day, that didn't even make the news. But the president didn't cry over that.
That's right. That's right.
He didn't. Let's just tell the truth about this whole situation.
That's true.
His hometown, his city, have had more people killed than being killed in Afghanistan. And all over that Middle East, put together in 1 year, more people get killed on the streets in his part of town, close to his neighborhood, every year. So, what can we say about this? It's ridiculous.
And as far as the physical cliff, those who live in your urban centers, black folks, Hispanics, and all the other minority races that live in your urban centers, you've been over the physical cliff for years. Why? Because you pay the highest prices for everything. Right. Within the inner city, when gas has went as low as $2.82, you still had stations in the inner city that were $3.30, $3.25 for regular.
Yeah.
You paid the highest prices. You paid the highest taxes for everything. So get the worst service. So don't get so wrapped up into this political jargon about the physical cliff. We've been over the physical cliff.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we have never climbed over the physical cliff.
Well, we've been at the bottom looking up.
We've been at the bottom. So don't get so caught up into these things that we don't have control over. And when we do get that moment of control, we need to exercise it, and that is at the ballot box an educated vote.
That's right. All right. Great job. Thank you, Greg. Great job as always.
Barnett, I want to render my condolences really to all the families that are going through bereavement at this time, but especially to one of my co-workers who lost a mother, that is to the Wallace, Anderson, and Crawford family. I want to render my condolences. I look to the hills from which cometh your help. All your help cometh from the Lord.
Thank God that this is a hard time. This Yuletide season is sometimes the hardest part of the year for a lot of people, because anyone will tell you, any psychiatrist or psychologist will tell you, there are more suicides during this time of the year than any other time of the year.
Well, it seems like, Reverend Barnett, I don't know if death becomes more concentrated during this time, but one thing, and I'm not quoting the singer Junior, but Mama used to tell me, every year the winter will take its toll.
Yeah.
Meaning that the winter season is a time of when death seems to become rampant.
Yeah.
The winter will take its toll.
All righty. Thank you. All right, thank you. That was Mr. Greg Barber, our Solution in Action Today job line. And you can reach me at 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 3 and say good morning to James. All righty. Good morning, James.
Yes, good morning, Reverend Barnett. We doing okay here in Palestine. We appreciate you down here.
Is it cold down there?
Yes, sir, it is. The sun's breaking through, and we're warming up a little bit, but it's been very cold down there.
All righty. Y'all get in that snow?
We didn't get in the snow. Just got, we thought it was sprinkling snow, but it was something else. It's wetness. Yes, sir. I was calling to say, yes, sir.
No, go right here. Mm-hmm.
That's just Commissioner John Wiley Price would always say, black people quit playing. We need to listen, let that sink in. But going back to Kwanzaa, the principles of Kwanzaa, I'm glad you brought that out, and people push that because Kwanzaa goes along with the scriptures in the Bible for us as African Americans. None of us see that white-looking Jesus image, and we tend to say Jesus is not real because they portray that image, but God is a spirit, and we need to get past these images and these lies that's being put out there, because America is Revelation chapter 18 talks about how America has gone a whoring as they did in the Old Testament and still doing it in the New Testament. And I would like for our preachers, pastors, and to get out there and not only meet in the church hall, but get out in the community and spread out and find out where the poor, the homeless, and the people that need help, instead of sitting with no walls, think people going to come where you are, especially when you have reputations of being worse than the people that's outside of it.
Well,
Yes,
I tell you what, James, you stay on top of the walls of the city of Palestine, and you keep on crying out against the evils and the ills of our society, because they are great. And I tell you what, if you don't stay on top of the walls, it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. And so we need great men like you staying there, staying and calling on the Lord, and then calling on our people to let's get together. Let's improve the way we do things. And nothing's going to change until we change.
Yes, sir. We need to go into the in Palestine. They have what they call Palestine Economic Development Corporation. Every city has one. We need to take advantage of that money sitting there. These businesses here is going in, getting these grants and loans, and they don't have to pay them back, and they improving their businesses. When even if African American blacks, if you got a lawnmower, you can cut a yard good or whatever. Write down a business plan and go present it to these people. I have a black councilman here.
That's our money. That's not a gift.
Correct.
No, that's our money.
And another thing, I keep pressing this. The preacher this Sunday going to collect a lot of money. Now Monday morning or whichever that week, he or she is going down to that white institution and deposit all of that money, and one of his members can go, or her members can go down there the next day and try to borrow it. We got to have collateral or some kind of, misfix the bubbles in the bar soap.
James, it's been proven that if you got collateral, you have good credit, you have everything. You can have everything is needed. They still will not loan an African American money for business. That's a rarity. That's a rarity.
We need to take that money Monday. I mean, all the preachers come together and say, okay, let's open up a black institution, a credit union.
A credit union, that can be done. See,
Yes, sir.
There's no reason for me to have to sit here on the radio and beg and whine
No, sir.
and cry about the ills of our society, because the answer is within us, is in our
Yes, sir.
community. We control that. They report $1.1 trillion.
Yes, sir.
We're not a poor race of people overall. We got
And
poor
I hear
people
you.
within it.
I
But
hear you
if
keep
we put
pressing
our
the
money to
fingers.
use, yes, if we
Yes,
put our money to use, we
Yes,
could
sir.
be one of the richest group of people on the face of this earth.
Yes, sir.
But we
Preach
don't
the
put our
people.
money to good use.
You have the people will follow the preacher just like the people follow Jim Jones and kill themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Black preachers got a real good influence in our community. I have about 10 churches on the side of town where I live, and these families are suffering, divided, and all kind of hell raising going on. And I'm always speaking. They think I hate preachers or don't care about preachers, but I just want to hold them accountable like you do a politician or somebody, and they need to be responsible. Like Brother Isaac Wynn say, a lot of preachers thought they tell people they've been called by God to preach. He said, no, God was calling them to the altar to get their lives together. They just took it that way as he called them to preach. So some of them are leading, like earlier caller said, their lives are so evil and messed up that they got people believing there's no help in the church. And the church has always been our place to go for help since slavery and all the way up to now. Like I said,
It's been our refuge, our city of refuge. All righty, thank you, James.
Yes, sir. One more thing. I get calls from the jails down here in different places, families needing help, and there's plenty of preachers down here, but they calling me instead of the preacher because the preacher not helping like they should. So we need to really press and get the preacher
Now
together.
let's look and focus on not only the preacher. Let's look at
yes, sir.
these
The leaders.
These politicians. What are they doing?
Yes, sir. I press them out. I appreciate you.
And you think about it. Think about any politician, all politicians. Think, what have they done for the masses of our people? Think about that. Ponder all of them.
Yeah, I do.
And
I
call
really
me back
do,
and tell
Reverend Barnett.
what have they done also. All
I
right.
do press them down here in Palestine in Anderson County, so I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
All right.
Happy New Year to you, by
Happy
the way,
New Year
the
to you.
listeners. Thank you.
Lord bless you. All right. That clears the line. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893 is that number to call. All right, let's go to line 4. Do we have time? All right, let's go to line 4 and say good morning to Reverend Wright. All righty. Good morning, Rev.
Good morning, Pastor. How you doing this morning?
Fine. You doing all right this morning?
Sir, you got a great show, great callers. Brother Isaac called.
Yeah.
I want to thank him, but we got some, Pastor, we look at what is going on and your question about the fiscal cliff. I was in like my brother told you, I was just been over. I was over years ago when we allowed the illegal immigrants come in our city and take over everything that our forefathers and our parents worked hard for, and we never said a word. I think about the way things are going for 2013. Year 13, as they say, number is a bad luck number, and 2013 is about approach. And as far as people who look like us, that should have been speaking up for us, it is going to be a bad luck year for you because
many of them portrayed us.
Yeah, we're going to have to call them out. I think about what Eli Whistle said. He said, we can't remain neutral. We got to take sides because not taking sides helps the oppressor and not the oppressed. And when we sit back and keep our mouths closed, it helps the tormentor and not the tormented. And shame on us because we sit back silently and allow things to happen the way they happen. The president, like you said, cried for the families in Newtown, but he didn't cry for the families in Chicago because we sit back silently and never said a word. Attitude respects leadership. And in the past years, we haven't had great leaders who stood up for us. I mean, the people who have stood up for us, society has drowned them out.
Yeah.
The Lee Alcorns and the great leaders and that they couldn't get support to continue to do the things that they've done. But 2013 path is going to be a kind of crazy year for those elected officials because as we continue to lift up those people, and I hear the brother talking about the pastors and the men of God, but we're all men of God, and we're all ministers, and we're all,
everybody has a job.
Everybody has a job to do. It's not just the pastors. The pastors don't have a heaven or hell to put you in. As a matter of fact, they may have been called, but will they be chosen? And that's the thing. And so we can't depend on the preachers when you're not in church supporting the church. You can't expect the preacher to do things, and the Christians should. They do need to be a voice and open their mouth. But, you know, we're accountable for what happens to our own people. So at the end of the day, those people we've elected and ask, what have y'all done to help us? I mean, what have we done since Dr. King? You know, ever since it's men like yourself who's a mentor to me, because and Lee Alcorn and all you guys and Al Lipster, they singled you out when you couldn't get the support from people.
Mm-hmm.
We only cry what happens to us, but what happens to somebody else, we don't care.
That's right, and that's a problem.
It's about us. This was a destruction on the black man, and so what's happened to our families was by design. But our fiscal cliff has been over with years and years ago when there was a genocide on the black man, and they decided to take and separate us. And the shame on those elected officials, like I said, who have been in those offices for years and have allowed this to go on, because 2013 is going to be a bad year for them.
All right. Thank you, Preacher. Thank you for some great comments. And I'm going to comment on something that you just said, but we got a short break. Let me take the short break, and we'll be right back.
Committed to helping Texas citizens connect with the services they need, whether by phone or internet. Our goal is to present accurate, well-organized, and easy-to-find information from over 60,000 state and local health and human services programs. We have programs ranging from child care to GED instruction, from dental care to food pantries to public utility services. Contact 211 at 211texas.org or dial 211 to connect with the resources you need. If dialing 211 directly doesn't work on your telephone, you can call 877-541-7905 for 211 Texas. Don't let your family go without the help they need.
Want to hear some great Texas blues? KNON has the CD for you. KNON's Texas Blues Radio Volume 5, our latest blues compilation CD to benefit community radio, sponsored by Forever Young Records. This CD features 15 tracks and 60 minutes of great original Dallas-Fort Worth blues from Tutu Jones, Blues Boy Bo, Buddy Whittington, Andrea Dawson, Kirkland James, Sonny Colley, Johnny Red and the Roosters, the Chris Watson Band, the Two Tones, the Rough Cut Blues Band, Jeff Stone and Charlie Love, Dave Millsap, Sirloin and the Ash Kicking Machine, Michael J. and the Paul Bird Band, and JJ and the Detonators. We're only selling 1,000 copies, and it will never be reissued. Get your copy now at Forever Young Records in Grand Prairie, Recordtown in Fort Worth, and in Dallas at Bill's Records and Rewind Music. The CD is available as an MP3 download at KNON.org. All proceeds benefit community radio, KNON. For more info on Texas Blues Radio Volume 5, visit us at KNON.org. Get your copy now and hear some real Texas blues. Your ears will thank you for it.
All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. Clint is producing. William is over filming. And you can call us at 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. And Reverend Wright said a mouthful. He said something, everybody's responsibility. We can't lay it just anywhere. Sure, preachers, politicians need to do better. Sure. But everybody, we all could do more to help ourselves. And that great leader you really want and really looking for, I tell you what, you see him in the mirror every morning. The one that you're looking for, that Savior you're looking for, that's going to rescue us. You see him as you stand there and shave, or stand there and primp and put your lipstick on. You see him. Every morning. That's that one you're looking for. All right, let's go to Robin. All righty. Good morning, Robin.
God bless you, Dr. Barnett. How are you today?
Fine. You doing all right?
I'm fantastic. I miss seeing you at the McDonald's in South Dallas. Been under the weather, but God is still awesome.
All right.
I wanted to take a moment and I had to parenthetically park this morning and call and celebrate you. I come from a totally different perspective. I'm not as old as some that have called in, but I have to celebrate you while you can hear me. When I was a teenager, you've been on this road a long time. You didn't just show up. You've been teaching and reaching.
That was my father. That wasn't me. I'm Junior.
I'm telling you, I celebrate you, and I do. I thank you.
Thank you. All right,
I do. And for the people, I've heard some of the callers before. You know what? You just said a profound statement. The leaders are inside of us. We have to begin to take responsibility. Will I hold preachers accountable? Of course. But you know what, Dr. Barnett, I'm going to hold myself accountable. I don't have to go to Chicago, and as a mother, as a human being, what happened in Connecticut, what's happening in Chicago, my heart goes out to them. But allow me to make this even more personal. What's happening in my own city of Dallas, the southern sector, what's happening, it's been like a massacre.
Yes, it has.
Our murder numbers have gone up. I don't have to travel outside of our state.
Right.
We have an epidemic. I'm tired of going down the highways and visiting people in prison. I'm sick of putting money on books. You want to deal with something, let's deal with what we have right here.
You know what? If we as men and women would get together, I'm not talking just about preachers and politicians, but the people. If we go down and let the mayor, let the police chief, let the city manager, let everybody who has any responsibility of running anything in this city, let them know we're not going to tolerate this. We're not going to have this. We're going to put an end. Don't fool yourself. These people put an end to anything. All of these murder, these shootings and killings and all, they can put an end to this mess right now. If this was happening in North Dallas, it would be squashed out in less than a week. I don't know, Robin, if you're old enough to remember, the prostitutes hit Oak Lawn in mass numbers some years ago. They hit Oak Lawn. Those people in Oak Lawn, those business owners and everybody else and residents over there, they came out, they were angry, and next thing they were gone. You've never had that problem anymore in mass numbers. So what I'm saying is they can do whatever they want to do. It's because we are so lethargically apathetic, we sit back and allow things to happen. They say, well, since they don't care, we don't care. And this is what's happening to us.
And that's sad. I'm still in South Dallas. I do care.
And it's a beautiful place to live.
Dallas? Of course, I'm there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place to live. But you need more people working with you. You need some help.
Economic development. If I can see the prostitutes at Pine and Colonial, is everybody else blind?
No, they're not blind. And you see them everywhere you go. Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. I'm in the community. I'm not coming with this pompous, pious attitude. I can hit the boys in the hood. I can come to them and talk to them because they see me. They know me. I'm not coming with this hierarchy. I'm not coming with this facade of I'm better than. No, you are my brother. When I walk around, you will not disrespect me. I don't care what the news says.
That's right.
You don't respect me while I'm here.
And make these young men that disrespect our women and cursing and just acting a fool in front of you, in fact, a fool in front of your daughters. All of this, we need to put a stop to all this mess.
We do, but I love you, and I just wanted you to know today, for the years of just crying loud and sparing not, I personally, as a 42-year-old African-American mother, woman, Christian, but most of all as a human, I celebrate you and I thank you today.
Oh, thank you.
Have a fantastic remainder of the Saturday.
Yeah, you're 42.
I want to see you so we can get some more oatmeal at McDonald's.
Okay. You're 42, and you were just a kid when I started doing this program here on KNON.
I remember you.
Okay.
God bless you.
All righty. All right. Thank you for your call. All right, 972-647-1893. Who do we have? All righty. Let's go with Dr. Scott. Let's go with Dr. Scott on line 2. Good morning, preacher.
Good morning, sir.
Fine. How are you this morning? Oh, happy holiday.
Christmas and happy New Year. And if you got a birthday coming up, happy birthday.
Well, I just had one before Christmas in November.
Yeah,
well, I thank God for that one.
I do too. I'm waiting. I'm just praying and asking God help me to see January 14th.
Yeah. You had some changes there that you effected some things in West Dallas at near your church. Can you tell us about that?
Well, I guess I can. I was out there the other day, and we just had a fire out there at one of the homes there. They had been having problems, and they had a big fire out there. So I don't know what's going to come out of that after the first of the year. But things are happening. They're taking place in West Dallas. They're building, they're tearing down, and they're on the progress.
Yeah, it's some progress being made, huh?
It is.
All right. Now, what street are you on out there?
I'm on the west side of Westmoreland. I'm on a vineyard. I'm 4119 Vineyard. That's near Canada Drive and Westmoreland.
Okay. Oh, Canada Drive in Westmoreland.
That's true.
Yeah, that's where we can find you every Sunday morning.
You can find me every Sunday morning.
Hear that voice, huh?
10 o'clock Sunday morning, worship service, 11:30. But this Sunday, we're having something special.
Okay.
And I sent you a notice. I didn't know whether you got it, but Sunday morning, we're going to have regular service. After service, we're going to have lunch. And then we're going into our year-end musical.
Okay.
Our year-end musical, we have a group coming out of Garland called the Armstrong Singers and a host of others. And then right in the midst of the service, we're going to do our New Year's resolution, and we won't come back that Monday night.
All right. So y'all going to do it Sunday instead of
we're going to do it Sunday
watch me
evening.
night. Okay.
So when night come, we'll be gone.
All right. When nighttime come, if you're going to be gone. Okay.
Am I saying something?
Got you. All right. I got you.
But there might be people in the area looking for somewhere to go, want to hear some good singing, and just enjoy the fellowship. You can give us a call at 214-631-4599. We're expecting a high time.
All right, Dr. Scott, would you give that address out again?
The address to the Vineyard Worship Center is 4119 Vineyard Drive. We're just off of Canada Drive and Westmoreland.
Okay. All right. 4119 Vineyard. All righty.
If you need more information, you can give us a call, 214-631-4599. Reverend Barnett, I always enjoy talking to you. We can talk for hours and hours.
Yeah, sometimes we do.
My wife said, who are you talking to? I'm talking to Reverend Barnett. We're talking about politics, we're talking about church, the community, everything. I enjoy that.
Lord bless you. I enjoy talking to you.
We'll do it again. You have a good year.
All right, you do the same. All right. That clears the line, 972-647-1893. Let's go to, is that Willie on line 3? All right, let's go to Willie.
Yes. Good morning. This is Willie Dennis.
Good morning, Willie.
I'd like to give a shout out to Dr. Eddie Scott.
All righty.
We've been knowing each other for a number of years, and I'm gonna say thank you for taking my call, Doctor. I'm glad you all are on a Saturday morning. And what took you so long to figure this schedule out?
I don't know. You have to talk to management on that, but basically the people did that. Y'all did that.
Okay.
Y'all asked for more time for this show, and you sent your pledges in.
Right.
See what affects this thing. KNON is different from all other radio stations.
It's
you, the listeners, that really control the station. I'll be honest about it.
True. That's true.
It's not just say management. It's not we who are on the airwaves. It's not other staff, anything. But you, the listeners, control this station. If y'all show interest and show your support, both financially and show it socially and different things, and support shows, you get what you want. But if you don't, that show go away. It's just that simple. The listeners control whatever you hear on KNON.
That's right. Now, did you get those driver positions filled for your van?
I've gotten one filled, but if we need another one, call this number. I tell you what, we'll be back in our offices. The daycare will be open Monday, but we'll be back in our offices this coming Wednesday morning. Call us at 972-290-4995.
All right, I got that. One of the reason I asked, I recommended a young man to you. He came out there last week probably and filled out an application. I recommended and gave him your number. I won't call his name, but
But now, I think I've had several, but I think I know the young man you're talking about. We will be getting with him coming Wednesday because we'll be getting ready. We have pickups and different things, but we're basically getting ready for Monday week coming when school starts back. So we'll interview him Wednesday morning.
All right, thank you, Doctor.
All right, thank you.
We'll talk to you later.
All right, thank you. That clears the line. Bye-bye. That clears the line. 972-647-1893. Here comes Brother Randy. Good morning, Randy.
Good morning, Brother Barnett. How you doing?
Fine. You doing all right this morning?
Thank the Lord. My eyes getting better. Had my cataract taken off a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Are you seeing pretty good?
I'm seeing pretty good. I'm blessed.
Can you see how to pick that guitar?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hey, I've been listening to a good show this morning. A lot of different angles, a lot of different views, a lot of upset people, a lot of people coming in with some ideals.
Well, that's what community radio is really all about, and that's what it should be about, letting people express how they feel. I don't agree with everything that I hear. Sometimes I comment, sometimes I don't. But I want the people to have the freedom to express and don't feel inhibited by calling my show and express their feelings because I'm not always right. Right. Sometimes, I'll never tell you I'm above reproach. We get things, we make errors, but we try to be right as much as possible. And we like for other people to express their opinions.
Right. That's how you get a conversation going. Even if you're not agreeing with the person you're talking to, at least you're getting a conversation going that'll come to an end result.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One thing, we in America, on the lower income scale, financially challenged, like some people like to say, at some point in this country's history, the low-income people got to realize that they're never going to make the millionaire white man dream. Mm-hmm. That's white, blacks, Chinese, Mexicans, all of us down here. Mm-hmm. We're never, no matter how hard we try, we got collateral, we got this, got that, can't get along, can't make the next step. You know what I'm saying? We haven't been taught at Harvard to manipulate money like people who make money do. They don't even go out and work. They manipulate the dollar. So when are we going to turn and look at an example, not necessarily per each step they take, but there's several groups in America that are successful by not being part of the status quo, the millionaire dream. And their group of people are, they followed, the Mormons went all the way to Salt Lake City. If you've ever been there, that is one desolate place.
That's right.
They went all the way there. They didn't go there because it was the promised land. It was the beautiful land in America. They went there to do what? Get away from our government.
That's right.
And our millionaires that would have put them in the same place that most of us are in. But most of the Amish, most of the Mormons, most of the people that are outside of this millionaire society in America are doing well.
Well,
so
I tell you what, the Mormons are some of the richest people, the richest groups on earth because they own half the casinos in Las Vegas and all over the world. And you said, Destiny, have you ever taken off out of Salt Lake City in a plane?
No, I know there's a lot of beautiful stuff out there,
you
but
gotta,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I always cringe because you got to climb that mountain. You go on the side of the mountain.
When they first went there, it was like the moon. You know what I'm saying? When they first went there. I know they held the Olympics there and all that. Kind of an okay place, but I'd rather be in Texas any day. But what I want to say is, if a lot of people talk about the preacher this and the preacher that, and we take the preacher's money, or all the people's money at the church, and we put it in the bank, and we go over there next week, can't get along. We know one way we can do that, Reverend Barnett, and that's if the pastor or the collective people who are in charge of the money, because it's not always just the pastor, it's a group of people who manage church money.
I tell you what, Randy, I hate to cut you off, but I am completely out of time.
I'll talk to you next week.
It's 9 o'clock.
See you tomorrow.
All righty. Thank you. Thank all of you for calling. Those waiting on the line, I'm sorry. We got to get out here and got to run. We thank you. I'm the senior pastor of Heavenly Joy Church. We're located there at Bruden and Masters. And come by and see us service again at 11 o'clock every Sunday morning, Sunday school at 9:30. And we have a great time there praising the Lord, teaching the people. Thank Clint. Thank you, William. Thank you all producing and filming. And coming next is Workers Beat. And stay tuned for more all the great programming here on Saturday mornings right here on KNON. So may the Lord bless you and keep you. I got to go. Bye-bye.
You're listening to KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas, the voice of the people, voted best radio station for music 2 years in a row by the Dallas Observer.
Did you know that KNON podcasts all of its local talk shows? KNON has local talk, each show covering your community in its own unique way. So if you missed one of our great morning talk shows, you can go back and listen to it online. We keep the shows for 2 months so you can hear everything you have been missing out on. Visit KNON.org for more information about the KNON Morning Talk Shows podcast, also available on iTunes.